my name is Sarah Tamilarasan. I'm CEO and co-founder of Sotaog. Really excited to be here at the AI Revenue Summit, and what an exciting time to be in the space and utilize technology to drive impactful metrics such as cash flow. We're backed by both AWS and Google. So what is it in the heavy industrials that needs technology? Well, this space actually has a ton of different data sets, and 75% of real-time data in operations actually goes unused day over day. And if this uncorrelated data sets could just be analyzed from the perspective of daily operating cash flow, there's a big impact to be made. And this is a time when margins for the heavy industrials are actually dwindling. And climate change is making an additional impact on the unit economics for them as well. Their shareholders have now changed. They are expecting more. They are demanding more. They want their operations to have a more sophisticated and higher degree of precision when it comes to looking at their cash flows, predicting their cash flow, seeing what can be done to increase that. And we're going to walk through a very simple example. While there are many, many applications that we actually do in this space, we're going to walk through a very simple example to see the impact that we make on just helping estimate daily cash flow for the chief operating officers. Right? So as most of you know, there are tanks, and these tanks hold oil or chemicals or whatever commodity it is. And the product in the tanks is actually cash on hand. And any product that leaves is a sale. Now, these tanks are actually equipped with a sensor. These sensors actually send data every 10 minutes. And there's so many different patterns in their data. All right. This particular pattern over here actually showcases a sale. All right. So when that pattern shows up, that means a truck has shown up, picked up a load of oil, and they will leave a manual receipt. This is the only proof the oil company or the commodity company has for getting payment on the product that was taken out. All right. So just imagine thousands of tanks, thousands of tickets, manual tickets being generated and left on location every single day. So mistakes happen. Tickets could get lost. Tickets could get misplaced. So what happens if you see this pattern, which denotes a tank level, which denotes a sale, but there is no ticket? That means two things. The ticket was probably lost, it was probably misplaced, or someone just showed up and took a load and there's just no record of it. And the commodity business has lost that load without ever getting paid for that. That's the impact. So let's see how traditionally this is managed. So as I had mentioned, tickets pile up. These trucks leave tickets for every single transaction. And thousands of transactions are done in a single day. And unlike a retail store, heavy industrials, they don't get paid instantaneously for each transaction. They actually have to wait a whole month. And at the end of the month, they get this huge document that lists every single truck ticket and as proof for payment. So what happens if the tank level actually shows a sale or product leaving the tank and there was no ticket? As I mentioned, or what if the client has a ticket and that ticket does not show up on the payment slip? And traditionally what happens in big companies is they manually actually sit down and analyze it, which is still error prone. And it's very, very expensive. All right. And you have a whole group of smaller companies that actually just go without. because they can't afford they cannot afford the expensive manual labor to do this. So they just trust their suppliers to pay them accurately. So there has to be a solution for this. And actually, technology is the solution. It answers the call. So see, when tickets and tanks are analyzed, actually now these clients just upload pictures of these tickets. And as soon as that's done, the truck driver, the time, the amount of oil taken, and the location, all of that is extracted through OCR and AI. And then it's analyzed. So when that data is pulled out, and then you have AI also analyzing a specific pattern that shows that sale, they're both matched right away. So you have, for example, you have a ticket that says, hey, it was picked up by this driver from this company at 8 a.m. You look for the tank level pattern that also says the same thing. Hey, at 8 a.m. at this location, this spot, we had a sale. And they get matched autonomously. And that's possible through AI because it almost duplicates human grade level analysis. And this is exciting times. And when a client traditionally first starts with us, it's shocking that they will notice 3 to 7% of truck tickets that they physically have with them in the database, and that does not show up on the payment slip. And of course, this is just prone to errors, but it's so exciting to see clients take advantage of tech and uncover this amount of cash back for them. Now, millions of lost revenue have been recovered just through technology. And what's more, 75% of manual labor, a redundant, mundane manual labor, has been reduced. And this manual labor was expensive before. And revenue reconciliation that used to take months or weeks or days is now done in minutes. What an exciting time. So what's the magic? What happens behind the scenes, right? What are the steps? What is the technology actually doing, etc.? So let's look at some of it. Well, first step, you have several different data sets behind the scenes. For example, as I mentioned, the tank levels that send data points every 10 minutes, it's actually housed in a completely different database because it stores millions and millions and millions of data. So that's in a different database. Now, clients need to know commodity pricing, which changes every day. And that changes real time as well. So that comes and is extracted from a different place. You have the manual tickets that are stored, the pictures, and that's stored in a database, and it's also a different data set. All these data sets actually first have to be brought together and connected. Okay, so you're talking millions of data points per asset, all right? Now this sets the stage to start doing computations, all right? So aggregating the data is typically the easiest part. Now is when the analysis and the correlations of the data comes in. And this is where AI really punches and brings in the value. So you have AI that's doing the OCR and autonomously reading and extracting the data. And then you have another AI-powered product that is doing pattern recognition. And now you have the two pieces being brought together. And that's what we call a physics-based. That is actually a very specific correlation to bring the two data sets to balance and do the reconciliation in real time. When you start to do all this, you're looking at millions of different computations that are being run on a regular basis, on an everyday basis, to bring the final value. So while we just showed you one example of cash flow. There are numerous different examples that we actually do in this space, all the way from, and that includes water for the cities as well, which is a very exciting space because it talks about conserving water as a resource, predicting leaks that actually bleed and, water, which can be prevented and eliminated, or at least cut down or reduced just by analyzing. And in those cases, you're analyzing water meter sensor data that, for example, the city of New York has 100,000 water sensors installed across the city. And if this data can be analyzed, there's impact on so many different areas in water conservation, increasing the output, ensuring that during hot days that water is distributed equitably across all communities. So there's a ton of different value. So when we actually bring all these different correlations together, chief operating officers, plant managers know exactly how much of their product left, what revenue was done, what your cost was for the day, because there's unit economics. If there are any repairs that happen that day, it all gets included. The distribution and everything else is already analyzed and brought to them. And now they are better positioned to make a decision for tomorrow. With the real-time data from the sensors and the rate of flow, you can actually predict what their cash flow will be for today and tomorrow. And this better positions them. So what if commodity price drops by 5% tomorrow? Management and the C-suite are better positioned to see if they should be increasing production to ensure that they're always meeting their target when it comes to operating cash flow. Of course, none of this would be possible without my amazing co-founder, Robert Isto. He has spent many years in the C-suite and managed multi-billion-dollar businesses. So this would not be a reality without him. And of course, I have an amazing team full of developers, designers, engineers, and they are so passionate about bringing and adding more value to our customers on a daily basis. They are very passionate about what they do, and I am very, very excited, and I'm very, very blessed to be in this position and be part of this and making an impact for our clients. So thank you. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'm very, very, as I mentioned before, I'm very passionate. I'm very excited. I love what we do as a business. So thank you again for being here.